welcome to Dandelion Dreams podcast. My name is Julia Mason. This is my third episode. Yay! I can't even tell if I'm late or not because last time it took me so long to get it uploaded after it was recorded because our Wi-Fi is not super great here. So I don't know. I'm all off schedule, but so I can't tell if it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I'm all out of sorts, but that's okay. So yeah, if this is your first time watching, we live in a rural area of Oregon near Portland, and my husband and I raise sheep and goats for meat, and we also we raise polypays, and they also are fairly fine fleeced sheep, so hopefully we'll be getting some fleeces processed at a mill soon. And yeah, it'll be exciting to try our own wool and see how that goes. Cat, come here. Washburn, come here, kitty kitty. Come here. Oh, today, the settings have changed again. Yeah. Anyways, the first time I recorded, it was in my parents' home, which we live on their property. And it was in a spare bedroom. The second time was in their living room because I had the girls with me. And today I am sitting in the little block house where my husband and I live. And I'm sitting on our bed. And I have a gun behind me. And here, oh, is my buddy Wash. Meow. So, anyways. I feel like, oh, also, I said anyways, so take a shot. But I guess I will just jump right into finished objects. I'm sorry, the cat's shaking the tripod. As you can see, I finished my shawl. I'm really excited about it. I have almost not stopped wearing it since I finished it. I've only taken it off to wash and block it because Daisy has thrown up on it a couple of times. I blocked it like 2 days ago, and it's already curling up at the edges. I guess just from being worn so much. But yeah, it's lovely. I'm a huge fan. I'm just looking at it in the camera. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. It's because it looks pretty. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. You can see the mesh pattern and the beautiful colorway, and it's even softer now that it's been washed a few times, and it's just so warm and comfortable, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to knit a million more of them. I'm gonna try different patterns just for variety, but I really like this pattern. This is oh, I forgot to bring my notebook out with me. I actually wrote down names of patterns and names of pattern creators, and I completely forgot to bring the notebook with me. It's typical. But anyways, it's the Raina shawl. I'm not even gonna try and do the name. I think when I wrote it down, I thought to myself, man, I don't think I can pronounce this, so I will just write it on the screen in editing because yeah, I'm gonna butcher her name. Anyways, I love this pattern. It's very simple, but it looks really elegant and nice in my opinion. Elegant for me anyways. So, and I'm drinking coffee from my mug that my sister gave me, my favorite mug. It's an owl. Okay, so this is my first finished object. My second finished object is kind of funny. I debated whether or not to share it because I don't know, it's a little weird, but it had so many fun construction techniques that I can't not share it. But let's see, it's a little, I didn't block it, and I don't really know that blocking it would do too much because it's a cotton spandex blend. So anyways, here it is, guys. Are you ready for this? Oh, see if I can get it held up right. It's a bra. This was my Valentine's present for Nicholas. And I was not looking forward to knitting it for some reason. I just didn't think it sounded very fun. But it was really a enjoyable pattern. It kept you interested, and each repeat was a little bit different, but kind of the same. So you just kind of had to keep track of what you were doing, which made it fun and engaging. Oh, the cat, get out of there. Nicholas is gonna kill me. The cat is climbing in our plants that we just put in pots to start. We haven't started watering them yet because we don't have the grow lights up, so hopefully he doesn't do too much damage. It's just seeds and soil, but anyways, he's probably burying them a lot deeper than they need to be. But so yeah, this was a really fun pattern. I initially cast it on, it's a provisional cast on, which I had never done, and oh, that's the wrong side. It was such a neat technique. I really enjoyed it. So you do the provisional cast on where you have your working needle and then like a cable from another needle, and you, I don't know if I should even bother explaining this. It's a free pattern too, so don't worry. You're looping the yarn around the cable and your working needle, and so it's like you're casting onto two needles at once, and you knit upwards and you knit downwards, and then you bring it around and knit them together. And the middle row before you join them is a yarn over decrease alternating row. So when you fold it, you get this neat scalloped edge, which actually initially is just straight, and then when you start the lace pattern, it creates an additional texture of like waves. So that was really fun to see how that came together. Initially, I didn't understand the tubular or provisional cast on at all. I was like just literally following someone on a video as they were doing it, but they didn't really explain what the purpose of it was. And so then I didn't cast it onto a cable, I cast it onto scrap yarn, and then I took the scrap yarn out and unraveled the whole thing, just like, oh, I should have read more than 2 lines ahead in the pattern, and then I would have realized what I was doing. So that was funny and also frustrating, because I was like, oh, dang it, now I've got to redo the whole thing. But it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows of the bottom. So yeah, so it's all one piece, and then just laces up in the front with some ribbon. But yeah, it was really slick construction. I liked it. It was enjoyable. I definitely recommend it if you want something kind of funky to try. And that was called Mon Petit Chow? I have no idea how you pronounce that. I'm not French. I assume that's French. I'm an American. There's a gun in the background. Anyways, I am in a, fine form today. So, I'm turning red too. That is my second finished object. I think those are the only 2 things. Oh, well, that's not true. I have one half object. Oh no, I didn't bring it. Well, I completed the first sock of those blue socks I've been working on, and I guess I'll jump right into works in progress. So, this is the socks I've been working on. What am I trying to say? This yarn is just an old sock base that I bought 5 years ago. I don't know what it is or where it came from anymore. It's been knitting up a lot nicer since the stuff that I started with initially had been exposed to the elements of the house for 5 years and had gotten eaten by moths and turned kind of prickly and rough. And so once I got through that bit, it actually turned out to be... fairly nice to work with. I'm sorry about the shaking camera. The cat is having a heyday playing on the bed, and that is where the tripod is standing. So anyhow, so yeah, it's been fun to knit with. The double pointed, or what am I trying to say? The 9-inch circulars have been really nice. I think I'm going to buy a size 2mm. These are 2.75mm. And they're nice, but I think I would prefer the gauge to be a little tighter. I can just see a lot of daylight through these socks when I hold them up, and I kind of want something a little snugger and warmer. So these ended up, the first sock ended up being a little too large for me and fairly close to fitting Nicholas. So I'm going to give them to him. I had him try them on before I cast them off, the first one off. So they're a little bit tight on him, but I think it'll be okay. It's better than no one wearing them because they don't fit me. So anyhow, and they are just living in my little improvised worn out camisole project bag that's handy for carrying around and taking with me everywhere. But I haven't been working on them very much because, well, first of all, I did these, or that project, and then I cast on, ooh, you're a feisty cat. You are sassy. Oh, here's the sock. There it is. I needed sock blocker. I was going to cut one out of cardboard before I started recording and I forgot. Where's my brain? I feel like having children melts your brain. So yeah, I like the way these look knitted. They're quite nice. So it'll be fun to finish those. And I actually just got the pattern for a test knit I'm going to do for someone. And I'm not going to share any details just because I don't know how much information she wants out there about it, but it's a beautiful pattern. I'm excited to make those socks, so that'll be the next sock that I cast on. So I think I'll probably have to set these by the wayside so that I can get that other project done in her time frame, because it's like a 2-week time limit or something. You only have to get one sock done, but with how children are, I don't want to push the time limit at all. I want to be sure I get it done well in advance, just because, yeah, lately I've had some time to knit, but I have had less time to knit than I would like, ideally. Just because Daisy's getting teeth. I think she's getting teeth. You can't actually see them yet. They're just under the gums, but I can kind of feel them, and she's been chewing on everything like crazy, so she hasn't been sleeping as good during the day and not been giving me as much time to knit, so... Anyways, take a shot. I say that too much, that's why. I also cast on this hat. It's my first attempt at color work. Wow, it looks so nice on camera. It looks better on camera than it does in person. The pattern is much more distinct on camera, so that's exciting. Yay me! Yeah, this is, let me find a skein of the yarn so I can tell you about it. It is called, I don't know how to pronounce that, Bergerie Difference, Pure Merino, and it doesn't say anything about being superwash, so I'm going to assume that it is not. It's very soft and comfortable, extremely warm. I've worn the hat a little bit just like this, because I can't resist seeing how it's going to turn out. And it's so cozy and soft, and I don't know if I'll ever take it off once it's done. This is the Aim True pattern by, I think, Caitlin something. I'll write it down and I'll put it on the screen. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's very easy to follow, well written. Pretty simple. I've been knitting with both yarns in one hand, actually. I wanted to try one in each hand because everyone talks about how fun that is, but I did try it, but I've never knitted with my right hand, so it was quite slow for me. So I just have been knitting like this with both yarns in one hand. And I started out with it being white dominant, because the white on the blue, I wanted the white to show up, and then I switched dominants, which you're not supposed to do, but I figured if I was consistent it would look fine, and I really like the way it's turning, so I switched dominants to the blue color being dominant, which just means that the blue yarn goes on bottom or to the left on my finger, like this, and I kind of spread them out. So I work it in that position consistently, and somehow, I don't fully understand it, that makes the blue pop more, and when I reverse that, then the white would pop more. So I like the way that that's coming out. I think it makes it look really defined and nice. So and then when I get back to this section on the top, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, so, oh, and I've also been catching my floats very often. I've heard that you only need to catch a float like every inch or every 5 stitches or something like that, but I've been doing it like in the middle of 3 stitches just because well, for one, it gives me practice. For two, it's making the back like very smooth, very little, if anything, to catch, which I know it's a hat. It's not like I'm going to be sticking my hands in there. But it's mostly just for practice, and I really like... Oh, also, I was really anxious about doing my floats too tight and having the hat pucker. So I decided that if I caught the floats very, very often, that I would be less likely to have that happen. And so far, it's working out for me. I think once I get better at it, I will start doing the floats on a more... regular, like what normal people do, not freaks like me. But yeah, it's good practice. And I'm doing the method of catching the float where you just like reach under the blue to grab the white and pull it down, and then it holds the yarn in the back of the stitch. And that, I think, is a pretty neat technique that I just learned. So that's fun. All right, so that is that, and it's living in my bag that my shawl lived in. Such a handy little free bag that came with the yarn. And my other work in progress is the same as my first episode. I only just put a few rows into it, but I decided randomly this week that I was like, I just am gonna finish that blanket because I want to be able to use it. It would be nice to have more warm, super warm blankets this winter. Also, I'm really close to being done. Honestly, I could just cast it off. And I don't know why I don't. Maybe I want it slightly longer. So it's, yeah, so I put a few rows into it. Is that the right side? Yeah. This is my daisy blanket. It's, now that I've had a little break from it, I really am appreciating the stitch again. It's fun again. So I think I will probably, hopefully this will be a finished object next episode, but we'll see. I have a few other things on my schedule, so we'll see. Yeah. And this is just an acrylic cheap yarn, and it's, yeah, daisy stitch made up blanket thing. And yes, hopefully that will be done. So those are my works. I think that's all my works in progress. I do have quite a lot of stash enhancement to show you. Like I mentioned last time, when I went to order the yarn for this project, that is so bright. It's not quite that bright in person, but it's pretty bright, but that hurts my eyes. When I went to order this yarn for this project specifically, there was a sale and I got a little out of hand on my online shopping. And I didn't buy anything too spectacular or, you know, nothing like indie dyed or anything cool like that. That would be fun, but I did get... and I actually had projects in mind for most of what I bought, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I didn't just go haywire. These guys I bought with the Aim True hat in mind. So I am most of the way through the first skein of blue and then like maybe halfway through the second skein of white. So I should have white left over to do some other project. I'm not sure. I thought about doing some colorwork mittens or maybe another Aim True hat in this, or some other colorwork hat or something in this, which this is like a plummy purple color. It's the same brand. And I really like this yarn. I'm pretty happy with it. So these are little 50 gram skeins. Let's see if I can get that to show up right. So yeah. And I got 2 of those purple ones. And the white, and 2 of the blue ones. So that's those. Hopefully there'll be more colorwork projects. This is interesting. It came out much different looking than it was online. Online it looked like a blackish gray base with a pinkish highlight, but it ended up being, this is looking fairly close to what it looks like in person, like a purpley gray base with reddish pink highlights, and it's kind of insane looking. Like, it's very bright. So I will I think it'll be fun to work with, and it's pretty comfortable to the touch. It's a little bit softer than this. So I don't know if I will make myself something or just use it to give someone a gift, or what I'll do with it. I'm not sure. My initial plan was to make myself a pair out of these. Let me find, got a lot down here. I was going to make myself a pair from this, and Nicholas a pair from this, because this also did not look the same at all online. Online it looked like much more masculine, which, yeah, whatever. Anyways, very like blah colors, but it's supposed to be like a mock Fair Isle pattern, which is gonna, I think that'll be really fun. But when I got it, it's got like a much more youthful, punky kid colors. I don't know, kind of girly pink and greens and stuff. So I actually haven't talked to Nicholas about it, but if he wants them, I'll make him socks out of it. But I thought about maybe making myself some out of this, and then I also bought this pattern. Oh, this is self-striping. I didn't realize that when I first looked at it. But anyways, this, I bought 2 skeins of it. It's a fairly heavy ball. How much is this? This is 150 grams. So this is quite big. And I bought 2 of them thinking I could come up with some random project to do. I really like fingering weight yarn projects, so I didn't know if maybe I would do try a shawl, but at the time when I looked at it, it was like this, the image on the internet, and I didn't really realize that it was self-striping, so my bad. I don't know what it would look like if I made a shawl out of it. Who knows? Might be kind of fun, or it could be hideous. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I was thinking now about making this into socks for Nicholas, and then making myself or gifts out of these guys. And then the one that I'm really excited about is I bought a sweater's quantity of this yarn. This is, oh, I haven't been saying the brands. This is Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints. I think that pink stretchy cotton fabric was also Cascade Yarns. Let's see. Yes, here it is. Cascade Yarns Fixation. That is the pink cotton spandex. And that was super fun to work with. I don't really have anything else that I need that kind of yarn for, but I almost wish I did, because it was just really fun. It was very stretchy and interesting the whole time. So I liked that. But yeah, so that's cotton's, or Heritage Fixation. No, Cascade's Fixation. This is Cascade Yarns Heritage multis. This is the superwash merino and nylon, like just a regular sock base. It's really, really soft. It's comparable or almost softer than this. So yeah, I'm thinking I would make a sweater out of it. The variegation in it is a little bit more. I actually think I need to pull it apart and look at it and see what the variegation is going to do, or how long the color is, if it's going to pool or what it's going to do. I'm not very good at telling that, so we'll see. If it looks really weird, then I probably will find some other job for it. But I would like it if I could make a sweater out of this, considering I bought 4 skeins of it, and it's quite a heavy. I think it's 5.2 ounces. Yeah, no, 5.25 ounces, so 150 grams, quite large skeins. So, woohoo! Hopefully that turns out good. I don't know. This is new for me, sweater knitting. And I think that's all the knitting-y things for me right now. Oh, I finally bought stitch keepers. It's kind of funny to me that I didn't have them forever. Stitch markers. And then I bought these needles. I accidentally said Knit Pro. I meant Knit Picks on the second episode? First episode. I can't remember when I talked about these coming in the mail. They are pretty affordable, actually very affordable. Little wooden needles, pretty little things. Haven't gotten to use them because I have been using my 9-inch circulars, and yeah, I just haven't got around to it. I thought about switching these out just to try out the wooden ones. These are the red Gu needles, and they're really nice. But when I do the test knit, I'll probably use these. And I think the pattern calls for size 0, 2mm, the littlest guys. So that'll be pretty fun to try them. They're like toothpicks. We'll see. See how they hold up. Here's my little buddy again. So what else has been going on in life? Well, it's lambing season. Theoretically, in theory, it's lambing season. We haven't had any lambs, and it's like almost a week past our first, like, this is when you could theoretically get lambs. Now it's been a week and nobody has had anything. Nobody's even looking that close. We had one ewe lamb. Well, she's not really a lamb anymore. She's just this will be her first season lambing, but she's 2. She's got a big udder and just lovely. She almost looks like a dairy animal, but no babies, and she's, I think, the first one due. So we're just waiting, looking at lots of sheep butts to check and see what, you know, if we can predict when things are going to happen, but apparently we're not very good at it. Sorry, the cat. I'm sorry. Hopefully no one gets vertigo from this episode or nauseated. I actually have the laptop set up. So like I said, this is our bed. I'm sitting at the head of our bed. I will see if I can show you our camera setup. Oops. Here we go. Oh, there's a single sheep in the barn. Wouldn't that be exciting if someone was in labor, but they're not. So here we have, I don't know if you can see, a camera set up to see our ewes, and it actually, you can pan around and change the view so you can find everybody and see how they're doing. And so I've been waking up every couple of hours all night for the last week or so checking on them. It's so much better than the first year. The first year we did everything the old-fashioned way, getting up, putting boots on, and going out and checking them every 2 hours. Oh my goodness. And yeah, yes, I was not, and I wasn't used to getting up that often because at that point Felicity was sleeping through the night and I didn't have a young baby, so it was sad. I got so sick just from not getting enough sleep all the time. And then I would wake up to check on the sheep and then be really awake and not be able to go back to sleep in the morning and just stay up, and it was stupid. So this is really nice. I can just, you know, lift my head up, pan the camera around, check on everybody, say, oh, nobody's in labor, go back to sleep, and do that, you know, a few times every night. So that's not bad at all. What else has been going on? I feel a lot better about the cow situation. Just finally a little peace about it, acceptance. My sweet husband is, like I said, letting me hang on to the cow that I'm the most emotionally attached to for a while longer. So yeah, I feel good knowing that at least the miserable part of having to put a cow down is done for this year. I can kind of put it out of my mind and defer it until next fall when we're going to have to reassess the issue. But for now, I feel a little better. We're going to be giving away most of our meat rabbits because I feel that we just have too much going on and too much to manage, and I haven't been consistent about breeding them or like harvesting the litters on time or anything, so they've just been kind of a little bit of a money hole because if you're not consistent about management, that's what happens. So I've decided to just give them away, all but 2 does and maybe keep the buck. I might just breed the does before he leaves, but because I feel I might actually do something with them and manage them properly if there's only 2, and I won't feel so overwhelmed. So I'm going to give them away and hopefully stay in contact with whoever takes them and maybe get some offspring back somewhere off in the future when we are more settled and have more time to manage that, just because I really like the genetics that we have there. And we've not been working the dogs as much as we should. Nicholas has been working a ton. Yeah, he's got a lot of fencing jobs lined up, so yeah, that's good in a lot of ways, but he's obviously super tired by the time he gets home, so we haven't been working the dogs too much. We're planning to today. He has the day off. We actually got some snow. We've had a very mild winter up until this point, but of course lambing season hits, so it's gotta snow and rain and be miserable, so yeah, so he's home. It's the weekend. We're gonna hopefully work the dogs today. Maybe I'll get some footage of that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to really share. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Thank you guys. I have been getting comments and people have been subscribing, and I'm just super appreciative of all the love and support that everyone has been pouring out, and you guys do not disappoint. You're such a sweet community, and yeah, just have nothing negative to say about you people. So thank you for your comments and liking the videos and subscribing. That all helps me to be seen by more people, so I really appreciate it. I have the podcast that I have been watching this week. I didn't really get to watch many podcasts last week. I think I watched a few of Celine's podcasts, but this last week I have watched Fiber Tales, and that's a really fun podcast. She has beautiful work. I really want to knit her design, but I need to learn brioche. I'll be putting that off for a while, I think. But yeah, she has a beautiful pattern that she's recently released, and yeah, so I recommend her podcast, and yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, and if you have anything you want to say or anything you'd like to hear more about, just comment below, and feel free to like or subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, and find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm under Dandelion Dreams Podcast. On Facebook it's Dandelion Dreams Knits, and yeah, and friend me on Ravelry or whatever you want to do. So thanks, bye. Hey girls.